Senator Moran.
Thank you, Las Cairlic, and I too would like to welcome Minister O'Reilly back to the House this afternoon. I think one message that's certainly very clear from all the speeches to date is this, that, and I think we're all in agreement on it, that if we invest in our children, our future will be safe. I think we need, as Senator Keane said, we need to make sure that the foundations are very strong in building the house, and I welcome that. I think it's vital. And I do welcome and I thank the Minister for his comprehensive speech, but I do think the early childhood sector has still plenty of room, and I think you acknowledge that, to change. It's recognised by parents, grandparents, politicians, service providers and the early childcare sector as a whole. We have made strides, to be sure, but we are falling down on the hugely burdensome cost on families. There are thousands of family situations, and we meet them every day, where both parents must work, with a large chunk of one parent's salary going towards the cost of childcare. Parents who should not have to work in order to afford the cost of childcare, and we hear this more and more often. Parents should also not be excluded from work due to the prohibitive costs of childcare. A recent study highlighted that many mothers are leaving the workforce each year due to the cost of childcare, or seek a different job when they return in order to secure more flexible hours. We had a debate here in the Seanad in January with Minister O'Sullivan on the closely related topic of improving the quality of early years education. Minister O'Sullivan very clearly and publicly outlined areas of particular focus in her portfolio, which included increasing investment and making early years education a priority in our education system. And I think, Minister, you've raised that today, and the importance of cross-departmental support and cross-departmental working of all the groups that are involved in order for us to get it right. Some work in this area has already begun with the introduction of the preschool inspections and an allocation of €600,000 in budget 2015 to immediately recruit a new team of early childhood education inspectors. I would like to note, though, that while I do take on board the issues raised by Early Childhood Ireland regarding the inspection process, the inspections carried out should be consistent and complement each other, not create further work and duplication for the service provider. Further work has also begun with the introduction of Better Start, the new National Early Years Quality Support Service, the announcement of the first major review of education and training programmes that lead to qualifications in early years care and education, and the creation of an advisory group for early years education with a range of stakeholders represented. And I said, and it is good to see so many submissions and so many people actively participating in this. In budget 2015, TUSLA also received a welcome additional €26 million this year. At a local level, I'm aware of the excellent work being carried out by the Genesis programme in Louth, and I think very often we can have all the talks about all the money and all the things that are there, but it's when you actually see something working on the ground, that's how you know, and that's the proof that it is working. And if I may just even speak about the Genesis programme in Louth for a moment, and I know, Minister, they were very, very grateful that you came down to Dundalk for the launch and were there and witnessed the absolutely excellent work that is ongoing there. The programme delivers the Incredible Years programme to disadvantaged areas in Dundalk and Drogheda. The Genesis programme officially commenced on the 1st of December 2014 and is already making a significant impact locally due to the dedication and extensive planning of local stakeholders, including parents, primary school principals, community leaders and HSE representatives. And I don't think, and very often, and I would like to acknowledge the personal work above and beyond the call of duty that I know that all of these stakeholders have done. The work, and I can't single out any particular area, but I know that the schools involved, the principals, the teachers that were involved in that, this is not just work for them, this is a love, and this is where you see true educators and true people who are so dedicated to their profession, who have brought these given these young people the opportunity to get in. And we've all seen the stats, and we know how much, actually, as I said, if we invest in the early years, how much we'll save. And the rates, and we have all of the statistics on how it prevents children getting into trouble later on, giving them the right start. And I say that as a teacher as well in the early, in the later years. So the Genesis programme targets 0 to 6-year-olds and aims to promote and enhance the cognitive, social and emotional well-being of the child at an early stage in life. As mentioned, the programme is already providing this service for the 0 to 6s, but the age range is crucial in a child's development. There's plenty of evidence that from the US to show that investment in our children at a young age reaps rewards later in life, such as better test scores, grade retention, graduation, reduced criminal activity and better labour market outcomes, to name an important few. Children from all backgrounds deserve quality education and care at an early stage, and this certainly includes children with all levels of ability. And I do welcome, Minister, your specific reference to children with special needs. And a matter that has been raised often in the run-up to the upcoming budget announcements is the accessibility for children with additional needs in the preschool early years setting. Early Childhood Ireland have identified 48% of early childhood settings with at least one child with a diagnosed additional need, and 70% of these settings that have at least one child with either a diagnosed or undiagnosed additional need. I know from experience and through meeting with parents of children with additional needs, an assessment of the child usually happens just prior to going to primary school, if we're lucky. If we're going to provide the best opportunities early on, we need to provide services necessary for children with additional needs in early childcare settings. And these, for example, for the psychological assessments that are so necessary, they say, to provide and to afford children the opportunity to get this special help. But we need to have those services there and in place, and there is a huge lack in this area, something that I've brought up on many occasions here. I know from many years of teaching experience that it's true for children of all abilities that when a child falls behind at an early age, it can be very difficult to gain back the ground that has been lost. Sometimes it can be done, but it proves at times more costly and more difficult. And we've said that today, that these early years in and around the age of 2, 3 are the key years in doing it. But this, and as I said, this needs to be an area of priority. And as I said, I welcome your statement today where you say about the qualifications. I think that's so important that now when we're bringing it in, that the qualifications need to be there for people. But I do think, and it's something that I would say, and something that I'm working on at the moment as well in the area of SNA, and indeed for some teachers working in special schools, is the area of qualifications of these people with expertise in dealing with children with special needs. Because very often we can have this general, and we talk about, the FETAC level and the levels of qualifications, and I totally welcome that. But I think there needs to be specific modules in the area of special needs. And I know myself, I have a 17-year-old. When he started, I was so grateful, and I still am, to the mainstream school who took him in for that preschool year, and he started at 3, and it was brilliant to see him being in the same uniform as the other 4, and they were all heading off to primary school together. But the difference was, and the shock that I got when I went down, was that when I looked into the classroom where the other children that were in that preschool year were all sitting together around in a circle, he was barricaded in the corner with a desk going the whole way around with an assistant there. But straight away, that was stigmatising the child, that was stigmatising, that was putting him out. And it happened in other years, and it happened. And it broke my heart to kind of say, is this the way that it's going to be for him into the future? So I welcome the strides that we have made, that it's more inclusive. But, and sometimes when I looked at it, the person that was there had no qualifications, didn't know what to do, just said, we better keep him away from other people that are in the class. So I think that's something that I think we can't focus highly enough on. We need to plan for a sustainable and affordable childcare structure for families in Ireland into the future. I know there are countless childcare services across the country providing an excellent service in difficult circumstances. We need to initiate a change of pace in this sector so that children are provided with the best possible opportunities early in life, and parents can choose to return to work for reasons not associated with the cost of childcare, but because it is what they deem is best for them and their family. An investment early in life will yield invaluable returns for thousands of children across the country.
Thank you, Senator.